Davante, it feels like you guys are kind of legit getting to the point where everybody can rely on everybody on this team. You know, offense, defense, offense. Everybody's picked each other up at various points. How good a feeling is that for a team, knowing that everybody's got each other's back?
It's a great feeling. I mean, it's definitely the intention of the team. Pretty selfless team. A lot of great players, obviously, and I think we're starting to learn how to play together. You know, all units together. We just gotta still just figure out a way to play better on offense. You know, our defense is playing really well right now, carrying the team, and our special teams has been lights out this year. So, but you got to find a way to be more consistent, just so we can, you know, we don't end up being that weak link of the squad. You know, especially with the talent that we have. So, just finding a way to be more consistent.
Davante, there were times you guys got wins earlier in the year, and you had better numbers in those wins than you had in this win, and you still weren't really satisfied with how the team, played. Why are you so much happier now with a win like against the Chiefs than you were earlier in the year?
It's the Chiefs. I mean, that changes a lot. It's a big game for us, big time of the year, and then these are the ones where sometimes you just gotta get gritty and just find a way to get the dub, and you can correct things. But early in the season, you're trying to establish an identity, and you obviously don't want to settle for a win like the one versus the Packers or the Patriots. That's not our standard of football, and I don't think collectively that even this wasn't our best ball, but it was definitely our best win of the year. So sometimes you just gotta swallow your pride and find a way to still be excited and joyful. Even though you didn't really maximize everything you could have done, but still was definitely a good feeling.
Being able to beat the defending champs, does that just show you guys like, hey, any given Sunday, you guys can go and get that result and potentially win out? And
yeah, I mean, I've been saying that all year. It don't really matter who we are playing. This team in particular, it kind of just depends on who we go out as, that day. That's how football is in the NFL. It's not about how good you are, it's about how good you play. So, you can be the best team in the world, which is, they have been for quite a bit of time now, but they weren't on Monday. So that's how it works.
Do you give yourself a little time to look at what the various scenarios are? I mean, you guys have played your way into a position where, there's things out there to play for now.
I mean, you hear about it, but I don't really get too focused on that. If it, especially when it's a situation where, we most likely have to win all the games. You can't get too focused on all that other stuff because, if you start worrying about what other people are doing, if you win a game, it's the last game of the year, and then you want to watch and see, if the team beats a team to help you out, that's one thing. But I think just being focused in the moment is what got us to win, our last two. So we just got to stick to that formula.
People talk periphery stuff, victory cigars, all that stuff, but preparation-wise, what difference has Antonio made football-wise, just a day-to-day basis football-wise?
I mean, everything we do it with a purpose, and it's you can tell him being a former player, he's not really into all the extra stuff just to do it. It's all very intentional, everything that we do, and the mindset that he brings. Having a certain coach sometimes can just allow certain players to realize their full potential and continue to go and be who they're supposed to be. And I think we can see with our defense the way they're running around now. We got a lot of guys that made some plays this year, but when you watch the way that those guys were competing to get after the ball carrier in that game, it's just definitely different than it was before. So having him lead those guys out there and sharing a few words, a few stories, whatever, it's clearly paid off.
Davante, he talks about being a Raider, embodying that Raider spirit, talking your talk, all that. But you also look at the fact that you guys are the least penalized team in the NFL. And it just feels like there's an understanding amongst players. Yeah, freedom still comes with some responsibility.
Yeah.
It's not just being free and being crazy out there, but doing it responsibly.
Yeah.
Do you feel like he's tapped into that, one of you guys?
Yeah, I mean, he's just preached it. He's preached for guys to play fast, play, with their hair on fire, and playing instinctually, and rather than playing scared. I don't really see anybody moving around timid out there like how it was before. So, that makes a huge difference in the way you're allowed to execute, and you do things that typically, if you're in control and you're playing as fast as you can, it's going to be to your advantage. You're not going to end up playing with penalties and holding and a lot of the things that we struggled with last year or earlier on in the season. So just the way you talk to your guys is a useful tool. And he's done a good job with that.
There was a lot of talk in the media about how well the team performs on Christmas Day will have a lot to do with Antonio keeping the job going forward. How much did that play a factor in your head, with giving that extra effort, and how much do you think it played in the team's head too, to go out there and play for him?
Yeah, well, I think it's just more about, I don't know if the team's like, oh, let's go and ball out for AP to get the job. That's not really the thought process of the guys, but it's more about playing as hard as you can for the man himself, and then those things kind of work themselves out. So it definitely gave him a better shot, and I'm definitely rooting for him. I mean, I love the guy, I love what he's brought. His mentality, his passion for the game is undeniable. You can see it every single day. His evolution as far as even speaking to the team, and just the head coachness of the deal is something that you kind of got to learn and kind of come into your own. Same as being a captain on a team or a leader on the football team. You gotta learn the way to lead men, and he's done a great job of that. He's been ever since he spoke to us when we had our little deal before Josh left. He left a lasting impression on everybody, definitely me, and I think we connected from that.
Davante, take us inside the huddle as one of the leaders of this team. How do you handle when the team or the offense isn't moving the way it's supposed to? Do you say something? Do you not say something? Does it differ from game to game? How does that work for you?
Yeah, it's not the same every time. You kind of depends on what it is. You got to read the room too, see where everybody is mentally. Sometimes it's you can see it in guys' eyes that it's a little a lot going on in their head, and those are the times where you usually speak up. But everybody's out there trying to do the right thing, so it's not like you're in a huddle barking or anything like that. It's more sidelines is when you do that type of stuff. Timeouts will sometimes speak to each other, but for the most part, everybody's locked in and confident in the huddle. So it's not too much that needs to go on in there. But obviously, you look at the production of the offense and you think that we need to say something, but that's not really the time. You don't really have too much time anyway. You got to get the call in and get to the line. So like I said, when we get to the sideline, that's something that we try to do and make sure we figure out whatever we need to figure out, whether it's calls or getting somebody's mind right or whatever it is.
Is there something about Aiden's demeanor, humble or tough, that maybe the team would get more, irritated with another quarterback not being able to complete a pass for a few quarters, but with him, his temperament, is it something that stops that from happening?
No, I mean, look, this is a very tough game. This was a weird game in itself, and it's something that, what is it going to do? The best quarterback or most experienced or most inexperienced, it's not going to help getting out there and putting the extra pressure and showing frustration or coming down on somebody. So regardless of what his temperament is like or his personality, that has nothing to do with it. We're just doing what's best for any quarterback and trying to be the best teammates that we can to help a young, inexperienced guy who's trying to playing against one of the best quarterbacks the game has seen. It's not going to be an easy matchup, so we try to do the best job we can of keeping his mind right, making sure he stays confident even when it's tough times like that. And, he didn't draw it up the way that it ended up, but we got the dub, so it's something that we can learn from and move on.
You guys have a pretty young secondary, but how have you seen them grow from some of the guys on the team last year to training camp this year all the way to being able to do what they did against Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, man. It's a bunch of dogs out there. When you got some dogs, whether you're young, old, or in between, it kind of doesn't matter. You got to just turn it on, and as long as you're confident out there flying around and playing that position, other than quarterback, it's probably the most difficult position to play out there. So proud of those guys and the way they've been flying around and tackling, catching the ball, and scoring touchdowns, helping us out too. So